Hi, it's Elaine from PenguinPlaceCrafts, and this is the official I'm melting look. It has been really hot for like 3 days, and I don't do well with the heat. So you may hear a little hum in the background. I'm sitting right in front of an air conditioner. You see the hair blowing in the wind. Ah, I just love that. So, you want to see what I finished this week? I did cross 2 things off, I believe, from my July goals. Well, I'll let you know when you see them. So, you know what? I have a craft show a week from tomorrow. Joanna, you gonna ask me? Am I ready? No. It's an out-of-town show. I have to stay overnight, and I have to take a tent and 2 tables and weights to hold down the tent and a chair to sit in, and I'm just not ready. I should be like getting things packed up and ready to go, and it's not happening. So yeah, it's a week from tomorrow. I need to be working on that this weekend. So this last week was a busy week. We're having vacation Bible school at our church next week, where I'm the secretary. So all this week there's been decorating going on, and it's just been a constant flow into my office of, can you print this for me? Can you do this? Can you print these pictures? Can you give me this person's number? And it's been busy. And I have a proofreading assignment that I'm working on. And I'm going to sneeze. Should I just... I went right towards the microphone. Sorry about that. Okay, so there hasn't been as much craft time as I would like, but just keep calm and carry yarn. So I was working on my July goal of the blue use up. I don't know if I have the picture anymore, but I had those 2 little skeins of K and C confection yarn to use up. The first thing that I made was this little dinosaur guy. This white, it's not a diaper. That's his eggshell that he hatched out of. It's from the pattern Hatching Party by 1 and 2 Company. I bought the pattern, I don't have my notes, December of 2018, I think it was. If I need to correct myself, I'll do it up there. There are 3 different dinosaurs in the pattern. There's one who's sitting like this, or you can put the legs down and make him like stand up, or he can lay flat. And then there is the still to hatch dinosaur. Just a little egg with spots and the feet sticking out. So it wasn't until 2021, I think May of 2021, that I finally made something from the pattern, and I made a set of 2. I made the big brother and the baby who hasn't quite hatched yet. Big brother sold, baby remains. I made another big brother. He sold, baby remains. I made another big brother, but the baby didn't stow. So this is the 4th big brother that I've made, and on my Etsy shop they are listed separately or as a set, but nobody wants to get them together. So this guy will probably sell without his little brother again. One of these days, little brother will sell. Okay, that made a little bit of a dent in the blue yarn. So the next thing, I made a dragon. This is my own pattern. I know I've said it's not published yet. It's on my list. It's on that to-do list that I have where things stay on there forever, and it's like, oh, I've got to do that. Oh, I got to do that. It's on my list to get this pattern published. So there's Mr. Dragon. His fancy wings, his little tip tail. Well, that made progress on the blue yarn. I think that finished off the first of the little skeins, but then I had another one. So I made a sea turtle. But that still didn't finish off the yarn. I still had some left. So I made a mermaid kitty. Now this did finish off the yarn, and since the mermaid kitty was on my July goals, it, to quote a co-worker of my daughter's, it shot two birds with one bullet. One of her co-workers said that to her once, and she's like, "What? What are you talking?" And then she's like, "Oh, killing two birds with one stone." Okay, so I finished up the mermaid kitty last night, and then I started on another project. I need a hashtag. Strawberry Bonnie made me do it. I was watching a video by Strawberry Bonnie, and she was showing these, can squids be adorable? These squids that she made. It's like, oh, I want to make one of those. That's where the eyes have to go forward. There's my little squid. I made it with worsted weight yarn that I had out next to my chair. It only took, I think, 1.8 ounces. He's really, he's darker green than that. He's spring green, if you're familiar with Red Heart Super Saver colors. The top and the body didn't take that long at all, but the tendrils, I timed when I got towards the end. Each one takes 5 minutes. So you might finish this much in about half an hour, but then you're going to be close to an hour making, there's two in the center that aren't quite as curly, but they have a fancy little thing at the end. And then you've got 8 tendrils around the outside. So with those 10 items, it's going to take you close to an hour to finish the bottom work. But it's like all one piece from the top down, and then you only have one yarn end to tuck in at the end. One thing that I would do for the next one, I would leave an extra long tail from my magic circle at the top and bring it down through and use it. You end up with openings at these 2 points right here because the point is made by skipping stitches. So I would just bring it down there and sew up these points. I just tied in a piece of yarn and sewed them up. You could leave them open because this part isn't stuffed, but I'm just sort of paranoid about kids trying to reach in there and pull the stuffing out and all that. So I wanted to have it nice and sealed. So there is my squid. And that's what I made this week. And it's Friday. So I have the weekend to work on stuff. I have pulled yarn for my next July goal, which is the Crazy Critter Challenge. The random number generator pulled that one up. And you might remember this month my Crazy Critter Challenge project is a blue dinosaur with gray bumps. So I'm using a pattern that I have used multiple times before, and I pulled the yarn for it, and I am excited to get started on that. Should take me a few days. I should have it done by Monday. But I will be trying to get stuff tagged and packed and start getting a game plan together for this show next Saturday. The nerves are kicking in. I've never done this show before. I think this may be the first time that they're doing a summer festival at this place. It's Button's Pumpkin Patch in Beaver Dams, New York. So if you have connections in central New York around the Corning, Elmira area, tell them about it. So the fact that I have to drive a couple hours to get there and have a hotel room overnight and set up the tent by myself, yeah, I'm getting a little nervous about it. And okay, will I sell enough to cover the cost of the travel, the hotel room, and the fee and the meals? And is it going to be profitable? I don't know. And then 2 weeks after that, I have Street Fest, which is just 7 miles into town. My husband will be there to help me set up the tent. You know, I could drive home in 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, depending on the traffic. So that one is always my best show of the year. So it's one of these things like, oh, I'm worried that I won't sell enough at this show next weekend. Oh, I'm worried that I'm going to sell so much that I'm not going to have enough for Street Fest. Like, make up your mind, honey. You can't be worried about both. So I am going to go sit out to the living room and edit this video with a fan, one of those Arctic air fans. You gotta be sitting right next to it to get the effects of it. Well, it's an old one. Maybe they're better now, but the one that I have, that I got maybe 10 years ago? I don't know, when they first came out, I got one. You have to be sitting right next to it to get the effects of the cooling. So I will go sit in the coolness next to a fan and edit this video. My husband's gonna grill hot dogs for dinner. And I was just down in the basement and I forgot to bring them up. Oh well. Another trip to the basement. It's cool in the basement. And I'll just plug away. I'm just going to do some fun projects this weekend. Work on some of my July goals. Get that crazy critter made up, and I will probably pull my next yarn for using up and start working on a different color. It's fun when you just see how many things you can get out of one color. So for this one, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Aren't they cute? I hope that YouTube picks this section for my thumbnail, because they're all so cute. Good night.